Hello, and welcome to another edition of Smoke Signals. I'm your host for today's show, Lieutenant Chris Taylor from the LaGrange Fire Department. On today's show, we have two members from the LaGrange Police Department who will be discussing the most recent LaGrange Police and Fire Youth Academy. So stay tuned, you're about to watch Smoke Signals. Hello, I'm Lieutenant Chris Taylor from the LaGrange Fire Department. During the summer season, remember these safety tips. Keep combustible material a safe distance away from heat sources. Always use a flashlight, not a candle, for emergency lighting. Install working smoke alarms on every level of your home, inside and outside sleeping areas. If you have a fire hydrant near your home, keep it clear of debris for easy access by the fire department. And remember, if you have an emergency and you need the LaGrange Fire Department, the big red truck is just a phone call away. Have a safe summer. Welcome back. Today on the show, we have with us Officer Natalie McKinley and Officer Enrique Parks with the LaGrange Police Department. Hello, and how are you all today?
How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
It's good to have you on the show, and we have a great topic to talk about today concerning the most recent LaGrange Police and Fire Youth Academy. But before we get into that, if you would, if either you will tell us a little bit about yourselves and how long you've been with the LaGrange Police Department, starting with you, Natalie.
I've been there, this is my 17th year.
Okay.
Been reassigned to the DARE position for the last 3 years, formerly from patrol, and have really enjoyed working with the 5th graders in the Tripp County school system.
Okay, and Enrique?
I've been at the police department for 22 years. Okay. I am currently the school resource officer at Tripp High School. I've been working with kids in the school for 15 years. Okay, so great. And so you all are not strangers to kids in the school system and in the community because you spend a lot of time with them, and that's evident with the Police and Fire Youth Academy.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the Youth Academy in general. How many years have the LaGrange Police Department hosted a Youth Academy?
We estimate about 25 years.
Okay.
We have had several years of involvement with just the police department. Mm-hmm. In the last 4 years, we've had also the fire department to join with us. Mm-hmm. We've enjoyed putting on this program. Okay,
and generally, what are the age groups of these kids that participate in the camp, Ricky?
It starts about age 7 to about age 16.
Okay.
You know, we work with the kids. You know, sometimes I remember one year we had a couple that was age 6, but it's from about the age from 7 to 16, and it works real good for us.
Now, what was the, I guess, what was when the Youth Academy was put together? Why was that the target age group for this academy?
We chose this particular time to this particular age group. Many of them are getting ready to go to middle school.
Okay.
We actually started targeting the 5th graders, and because they're getting ready to go to the 6th grade,
right,
we wanted to give them activities during the summer to give them some team building skills and responsibility, and teach them things dealing with what's coming down in the middle school years for them.
Okay. And
then we roll the age back and started out at age 7. Right. We've had a few 7 and 8 year olds that seem to have really enjoyed it, and we've watched them grow. Okay. Every year they come back. We've seen the same students come back year after year. And it's just really been neat to watch them grow up into bright young boys and girls. Right, and that is a great stepping stone for them to have an opportunity to go through the camp and find out all these neat things that involve the police department and now the fire department. Right. And you just never know. These might be our next
local police officers and firefighters just because they went through this program.
Exactly, and part of the program is to show them the operational procedures of the police department. We had different divisions come in, and we want them to see exactly what the fire department does and exactly what the police department does. Of course, we can only give them a broad spectrum of what it is we really do, but they get a bird's eye view of our patrol cars and the equipment that we use, and they seem to be really interested, and hopefully maybe one day we'll have some to become firemen and policemen.
Okay. Now let's talk about getting the information out. What methods are used for you all to get information out so that these kids can have an opportunity to be a part of the camp?
Not only, amongst ourselves, we by just knowing a lot of people in the community, we talk to parents, because every year parents always ask us when is the police department youth camp that we have. So, we talk to parents. Officer McKinley, by her being a dare officer, she'll put out flyers throughout the middle school, and we put it out in those type of ways. Okay, good. And then, of course, local media. Local media.
Is always a great asset because whenever you can, have an event like this, the newspaper spread like wildfire because a lot of people read the newspaper, and that'll be a way if they miss the information there at the school, someone in their family or what have you might pick it up in the local newspaper.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, support groups. What are some of the support groups that help to put all this together?
It takes a lot of work. We start working on the camp in like January. We've had over the years we've had a lot of participation from the public. We've had, take for instance, we've used AMR, our local ambulance. Of course, our local divisions in the police department. We've had CIS has helped us. We've had our K-9 division help us. We've also this year, for the first time, used the new air evac air ambulance, which visited with the helicopter, and the kids really loved that. We've used Stanford Automotive in the past for our automobiles, for basically for the fire department to come and just completely destroy. And they enjoyed that, and the kids loved that. But this year we used Crockett Brothers, and certainly appreciated their support with the program. We've had the golf cart we've used every year. We used S&S carts this year to help us with the golf cart.
Okay.
Local grocery stores, Walmart was instrumental this year, by providing us with gift cards in order to purchase snacks and drinks for the kids. Piggly Wiggly's been outstanding, but one person that stands out, above and beyond is Reverend Jenny Lay. She has been with us how many years? I think since the inception of the program.
Since we started the program.
And local ordained minister, and she's been an instrumental and an inspiration to all of us.
Great inspiration.
A mentor not only to us but the children as well. They enjoy having her around, and she's been with us every single year. So we have to give her kudos where they're deserved.
Okay. Now let's talk about this year's youth academy. What was the theme of this year's academy?
It was geared toward teammanship, and responsibility. And we had 55 campers. We divided the camp into groups, and we had like 6 groups spread out among all the students. In each group there was a team leader, and the team leader's job, their responsibility was, to take care of their other team members, but to also instill responsibility among themselves as a unit.
Right. And
that entailed, cleaning the facility when we got through, making sure that when they went swimming, to make sure that everybody was there in their group. They did a head count. They cleaned up after themselves, and the team leaders were very instrumental in instilling, responsibility for the smaller ones.
Right.
Because, maybe some of those are not, geared toward picking up. They did an excellent job, and I don't think we had to clean the facility all week, which was good.
Had some great team
well,
leaders.
Well,
Team
and it
leaders.
also gives them a sense of discipline,
Right.
and ownership. Knowing that, when you mess up, you clean up behind yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. You have to instill that in children at a younger age, because if not, you have a lot of kids who go off to college or, go into the workforce, and they've been staying with mom and dad did all the cleaning, and they never really did anything. And then once they get out there in the real world, they realize, say, hey, I got to start cleaning up behind myself. But what do I do?
Right.
So a good team building effort there.
Right.
Now, we talked about locations where the camp has been held over the years. What are some of those locations, including where it was held this year?
For the last 2 years, which this past year, we had it at the Parks and Recreation on Lafayette Parkway, which is a great location. Myself, Officer McKinley, Officer Bird, we got together last year and we talked about it, and we came up with that location on the Parks and Recs. And I mean, it's a good central location, got a lot of activity that we can use there. Some of the other past year, we used some of the local schools, LaGrange High, White Road Elementary before. We also used, one year we went to Camp Viola.
Okay.
So, which was very good, So we've been changing it up pretty good, but this location now with the Parks and Rec, we kind of found out, there's a good neutral location. It's a good spot, a place, where the kids really enjoy. They can interact in a lot of different activities at that location.
Right. Also, too, with the camp being, this time of the year, it can get, pretty hot, and you got a nice, cool environment that the kids can be in, so that you can control any type of emergencies that possibly could come up with heat-related injuries and things of that nature. Okay. All right. Well, we've talked about a whole host of things, but we got another segment that we're going to be talking about some of the activities and other parts of functioning parts and logistics of the youth and the Youth Academy. So when we come back, we'll have more on smoke signals.
I'm Damon Jones with American Medical Response, Troup County EMS. Here to remind you this summer, be especially careful for heat exhaustion. The body's an amazing thing, but it has a hard time or a difficult time coping with the Georgia heat and Georgia humidity. So try to plan your days accordingly. If you know you're going to be outside for extended periods of time, then make sure you drink plenty of fluids. Some early signs of heat exhaustion would be edema, the swelling of your feet, the swelling of your hands. If you start noticing this happening, then you need to immediately find somewhere cool to go. Drink plenty of fluids, and if needed, call 911 or call us for help. Heat exhaustion can lead to heat stroke. Heat stroke's very serious. It can lead to loss of consciousness, even death. So this is Damon again with American Medical Response, Troup County EMS, reminding you to be safe this summer. If you have any questions, we're here for you. Stop by the office or give us a call.
Welcome back. We've been here discussing the Police and Fire Youth Academy with Officer McKinley and Officer Parks, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the event and some of the other things that help bring it all together and some of the activities that take place. Now, you discussed earlier about the camp was put on by the LaGrange Police Department for many, many years, and in the past few years, maybe 3 or 4 years, the LaGrange Fire Department has joined in with you all to put this camp on. And basically being able to join both police and fire, since we work on the public safety, gives us an opportunity to work together, but also help to share resources so that one agency is just not having to do the bulk of the planning and setting up activities for the event. So do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
We've appreciated our fire department involvement in our camp. We take the first part of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we give the fire department Thursday and Friday, and they incorporate their own programs. Lots of things that lots of new ideas that they bring to the table, and opportunities for the kids to see, not just the police side of it, but also the fire end.
Right. All right. So let's take this time and use a timeline of events throughout the week. What type of activities did the campers participate in? And let's talk about, first day. What's the first day they actually get engaged in?
Well, we have registration on the first day. That took a little bit of time because with so many children. Then we did first thing they did in the morning was swimming, which we really appreciate the Parks and Rec allowing us to use their swimming facilities. They really enjoyed the swimming part. Later that morning, we did a practical exercise with a crime scene kit. We had purchased a crime scene kit that could be divided among all the students, and it breaks down some of the things that we do. They got to dust for fingerprints. We've never actually had things that they could actually dust before, and the kit included the fingerprint powder, the glass slides, the brushes, and we used their thumbprint. They got to put it on the slide, and they got to show. We explained how fingerprints are made, how everybody's different, and then they were able to actually dust for their own fingerprints. We brought in, later that morning, we brought in the crime scene van, which is utilized by CIS, and it has all the equipment, of course, when they go out on a crime scene. It's got all the big equipment, the big boxes of dust and powder and all the equipment that they have on there. They were able to actually climb in. Andrea Scott, one of our detectives, took them on a tour of the van and let them actually get a bird's eye close-up look of what all was on that van. That pretty much wrapped up our first day.
Now with the van, and you talk about the division, that's the criminal investigation division, and they got a first-hand look at, when you have an incident, a crime scene, they have a chance to look at some of the equipment that is actually used to, try to solve, whatever incident that took place.
And they were very interested, especially in the fingerprinting, because they had just got through doing their own fingerprints. And they were interested in seeing how all that worked. Footprints, how they do footprints, and the different collection methods of evidence, because we explained to them that evidence collection is extremely important in any kind of a crime scene, and how important it is to leave the evidence alone until officers can take it and properly bag it and store it. And they understood after that practical exercise how important evidence is to a crime scene and the solving of a crime.
All right. Now let's talk about Tuesday. What activities took place on Tuesday?
Tuesday, we brought in the K-9 unit. Officer Winnie Bishop at the LaGrange Police Department brought in her K-9. We had Officer Jeremy Story, Officer Antoine Martin had on the bike suit, where the dog, came out, and reacted on the bike suit, and that was very interesting for the kids there. I mean, they really enjoyed it.
I mean, because, I just can't see myself being in a bike suit. I know it's protected, but just knowing that dog is running after you to attack you, it's a mental thing. Even though you're protected physically, but it's just a mental thing. Just to see a dog running after you.
Chico is his name.
Many of the kids asked me, was I going to put it on? Like, no, I couldn't do that.
Some of us are afraid of the dogs.
Right.
They're not pets.
Right, and that's one thing that the kids have to understand. These dogs are under training 24/7, and these are just not household dogs. You just don't. They don't go out there and do their job and then they go back and they're a household pet.
Household pet, right. And also during that day, Officer McKinley put on a bullying class, and I'll let her talk to you about the class that she talked about forced bullying. Okay,
and let's talk about that, because bullying has been a big issue across the country for seem to be several years now. So kind of talk a little bit about how that went on.
We've had some incidences of parents being concerned about bullying issues in our local school system. But on a national level, when we think about bullying, I think about the drum major in Florida who was a victim of hazing, which is the same thing as bullying. incorporated the bullying program into this this curriculum this summer, mainly to instruct the students on how not to be a victim of bullying, how not to be a bully themselves.
Right.
If they find themselves wanting to, you know, put their hands on somebody or trip them up or make fun of them or touch them inappropriately or anything like that, we explain to them what bullying is and how to recognize it. And the movie that we showed was a family-based movie.
Okay.
We purchased here locally at Walmart. It was called Field of Vision, and it's dealing with football players who get themselves wrapped up in a issue of bullying, and how one student brought it to the attention of the coach, who did the right thing by addressing it right from the beginning and not, you know, covering it up or anything like that. They dealt with it, and so the students were really interested in that particular movie. I had one or two that actually did not see the end of it and were disappointed, but it was. We could sit there and talk all day about bullying, and, you know, with a long drawn out discussion, but to actually see a movie geared toward their age bracket, they were really focused on that.
That was
and
good.
I'm hoping they will take what they learned from it and go with it.
Most definitely. Now Wednesday activity.
Wednesday we did the golf cart. Officer Parks was instrumental. I'll let him explain the golf cart and I'll explain the goggles.
Right.
Well, I mean, the golf cart, we had, you know, the kids, you know, they was the driver and I guess I was the instructor, you know, while they was driving. Myself and Officer Martin, you know, we assist the kids, you know, on, first of all, you know, driving the course without the goggles on, and then we'll come around the next time and they put on the goggles, you know, to see the reaction that they would get, and it was very interesting. I mean, you know, even the young kids, you know, I mean, they had fun, they enjoyed it, and they got a lot out of it, you know, to actually see, you know, what the goggles demonstrated. Okay. I mean, you know, it was real fun. Okay. It was exciting.
As the DARE officer, of course, that is our drug and alcohol awareness program that we'll be gearing up again here soon. As part of that program, the police department purchased, they're called Fatal Vision goggles. Okay. It is, they're plastic, they look like something that you would swim with, but they're actually a pair of goggles that simulate what it feels like to be under the influence of alcohol without actually having to drink. Okay. And when they put the goggles on, it gives you a feeling of disorientation, and we use it in our DARE program to let them walk and see how it feels to use these goggles. And I think the new ones that we just bought has an blood alcohol content of 0.10. So it was kind of, we went from a 3 to a 10. So it was very interesting driving that golf cart. But it just gives them an idea of what it feels like to actually be under the influence of alcohol without actually having to partake in alcohol. Right. And to drive with the cart was very interesting.
I bet it was. I bet it was. Now on Thursday and Friday, and I'm just going to quickly touch on these. On Thursday we did a vehicle accident demonstration where we had multi-agencies involved. Pretty much what we actually do when there is a vehicle accident. We had local police, we had fire department, AMR, and we also had air evac. And basically we just simulated having a wreck with a patient entrapped inside, making sure the scene's safe and getting the patient out. Now let's talk about that relationship real quick, about having those agencies there doing their own thing during a wreck scene.
Well, Chris, you've been with us a long time, and anytime you have a traffic accident, the police, we do not work the accident scenes by ourselves. I mean, you'll turn around and there's the fire department. You'll turn around and there's the ambulance. On those serious calls that require an ambulance, a quick ambulance, air evac will come in, and it's the relationship between the police department and the fire department and the other agencies involved, we all have to work together as a team. We don't do this by ourselves.
Exactly.
And if we try to do it by ourselves, it would just fall apart. We all have to work together and coordinate with each other and understand what each other's job tasks are in order to make it flow.
Right.
Because the key thing is to get in there, evaluate your injured, get them extricated from the vehicle as fast as possible, get them in the ambulance, and get them on their way to the hospital.
Right.
Then it falls back to us to get the street clean, to get the vehicles towed out of the way, to get them moving, get traffic moving as quickly as possible. And without the coordinated efforts of all the agencies, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Exactly. It's always about networking with one another and
Exactly.
teamwork. And then, of course, on the last day, we did some fire safety education with the kids, and they got a chance to go out and use a fire extinguisher for the first time. And I think some of them got a lot of good training from that. Now, let's talk about types of awards that are given. What kind of awards are usually given at the end of the camp?
This is the first year that we actually had given awards out with so many students and so many different attitudes and so many different children coming to the table this year. We tried to figure out which ones to give awards to, and we came up with Best Leader, a Best Camper, a Best Listener, and the one with the best attitude. And then we had a couple that was Best Volunteer.
Best volunteer.
Because we actually had volunteer. We had some parents to show up and actually volunteer their services. Of course, their children were attending the camp, but we really appreciated their help.
Okay. And real quick, is there anything else you would like to add before we conclude the show?
I'd just like to say, we have football season started up. I'd just like to say to all the coaches and athletes, let's be careful out there. The weather is hot, and and I coach football myself at Callaway, and I can say we are doing a great job. The coach is doing a great job for us, watching the kids and keeping them out the heat.
Okay.
And everything. Just be careful out there amongst the heat.
All
so
right.
we can be safe this year.
Good safety tip. Yes. Well, we would like to thank both of you for being on the show today and sharing this information about the Police and Fire Youth Academy. And we'd like to thank you, our viewers, for watching another segment of Smoke Signals. Until next time, take care.
Hi, my name is Rachel and I'm a flight nurse with AirEvac Life Team. I'm here to talk to you today about helmet safety. Whether riding a bicycle, motorcycle, or ATV, it's always a good idea to wear your helmet. Helmets not only prevent serious brain injury, they may just save your life. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, bicycle helmets are effective 85 to 88% of the time in preventing brain injury. For motorcycle riders, helmets prevent death 29% of the time and are 67% effective in preventing significant brain injury. In Georgia and Alabama, all bicycle riders age 16 and under are required to wear a helmet. Motorcycle riders in both states are required to wear a helmet at all times. Make sure when purchasing a helmet for bicycles, it has the Consumer Product Safety Committee sticker on it, or CPSC sticker. All motorcycle helmets should have a DOT approved or Department of Transportation approved helmet. Make sure that your helmet fits properly. It should fit snug but comfortable, should not slide from side to side or up and down. Ensure that it sits level on your head, low on your forehead, and never tilted back. Ensure that your helmet does not have any visible cracks or damage and that you don't wear a helmet that's been involved in an accident. Helmets involved in wreck can have unseen damage and may not adequately protect you. For more information on helmets, you can visit the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration website at www.nhtsa.gov. As emergency medical providers in your community, we see a large increase in head injuries over the summer months, especially those related to bicycle, ATV, and motorcycle accidents. Please wear your helmet. It's not only the law, it's the smart thing to do and might just save your life. Have a fun and safe summer from your Troup County Air Evac Life Team crew.